Hey, everybody, welcome to AU Radio. I'm Greg.
I'm Corey.
I'm George.
Ian. Travis.
I already messed it up.
I'm Katie.
Katie and Travis and Ian and George and Corey and Greg.
I feel like the lack of woo, that we didn't really get that going at all.
Hey, everybody, welcome to AU Radio. I'm Greg.
I'm Corey.
I think I'm George.
Ian. I'm pretty sure.
Never mind. Never
Shut
mind.
up.
Didn't you guys
all
already
of
do
you.
this while I wasn't here?
No, we didn't do it at all.
Oh, okay.
God,
You're back, though.
I am back.
And thank you for being back, George.
It was only because of beard shaming.
Yeah,
That's the whole reason.
You know,
and it was Donnie, right?
that same thing happened to me.
Yeah.
Tell him your stance. Tell him your stance.
There will be no beard shaming on this podcast.
Okay.
It's
all
just
right.
This is
final
a
say.
beard-safe place.
Yes, it is. It's a
this
safe
or
place.
any other podcast,
This-
you said.
And you know, if anybody's having issues, just let me know, and I'll go have a conversation with somebody. It'll be a friendly conversation.
All right. We'll add that to the list here. Is hashtag no beard shaming.
No beard shaved
Especially
in
not
December.
in the month of November because of No Shave November.
There you go.
go.
Well, I
How
don't know
much
if I
wiggle
can do
room
that
do I have
whole.
with this? Because you can't tell me I can't troll you on something.
Well, something. We also, on the podcast. On this or any other podcast.
Okay, but like just real life, I can just
Yeah,
be
I
like,
mean, this
hey,
is-
George.
Yes, this is not the real life. This is not fantasy.
So we don't talk about beard shaming, and we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion, and we don't talk about no beard shaming.
if we
Yeah.
if we can pull it off.
Okay. All right. That works for me.
If we could pull the beard off.
Hopefully not.
Trav, do you have a fake beard with you?
There you go.
Not with me.
No.
No.
Can we
Next time.
Can we submit an article to Tumbleweird that's like just a trashy tabloid? Is George's beard fake?
I'm down for it.
Yeah, I think we could probably make that happen.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
If it moves more copies for him.
Why don't you tug on it and find out?
I'm not touching it. There's poop in there.
Oh, that's right.
I might have poop in my beard, but I am a wizard.
You knew that was coming, didn't
Yeah, I
you?
did, I
Yeah,
did.
absolutely, absolutely.
Looked resolute when it happened, though. Like, yep, there it is.
You know,
Yep.
I want to thank again Kagan from last week for bringing over the crepes and having a Thanksgiving feast with you guys.
It was
was wonderful.
fantastic. Yeah.
It really was.
Do we need a beep on that one?
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Hey, I got beeped for Flux, so and that's like
Yeah, well,
one
yeah.
letter away from Clucks.
Well, depends on how far we go with that, I
Like
guess.
a chicken,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying.
Ian,
So, hey, everybody check out the new trailer this week.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Watched it, and then I watched it again.
Yeah?
Yep.
So
a
you're
couple of times.
you're one of those people that made it the most popular download ever.
Really?
I mean, just on YouTube, but I guess if that does anything for him, then sure.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Avengers and Infinity. I watched it this afternoon. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Did it beat out Gangnam Style?
Why is that?
Oh,
No. If George gets to leave about beard shaming, I'm leaving because of that.
No.
Sit down.
I'll allow it.
Well, I need a sound effect over here at that, don't I?
Oh, no,
Of
you don't.
Gangnam
Yeah.
Style? Oh,
Oh,
dude.
Gangnam
You
Style,
You just
yeah.
get that
No,
going
you
in
don't.
the
I figured you were
dance.
just going to bring out the Jeff Goldblum thing again.
Do I have to?
That is one big pile of shit.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I refuse.
that's what
Absolutely
we're talking about.
refuse. Yeah, that's what
Refuse.
we're talking about.
Oh.
So, some of the
That's a good one.
sound effects are kind of lost on the two in here that
Don't have headphones
yeah,
on.
we
Yeah.
we have a couple guests in here. Actually, one guest, and
That means
one's,
we have hostages.
Are you a handler? They just call you a
You
handler.
guys have to
Okay,
listen now,
Nodding at me.
just for the sound effects.
Yeah, to get what you.
Not actual hostages. you
Okay,
guys aren't gonna
let's
point.
go back to this.
Unless you want to be.
Donnie sent us a
Wait, I
meme
can't do that.
earlier
Cut that out.
that somebody had photoshopped the head of Thanos onto the body of the dude from Pawn Stars.
Yes.
And now I can't look at Thanos and not see that. I have a Thanos figure hanging on my wall, and I looked at it and it just, like,
does kinda
I don't know
ruin
about
him.
that, but let me call a friend. And
There's some really good ones.
Okay.
Yeah,
Need to phone a
Another
friend.
thing that Donnie, I think it might have been Donnie, is Has anybody else noticed that in the movies that Thanos is getting progressively less and less purple? He's like almost pink at this point.
Yeah, I noticed that there's nothing
Why?
about the character design in that trailer made me happy.
He's the anti-Oompa Loompa.
Why? Why is he
And
getting
Palumba.
less purple? This bear's investigating.
Yes. Yes.
I've got nothing.
You got nothing. What did you think of the trailer?
I thought it looked. So it seems like they're trying to go out of this era of the Avengers with a bang. Like, I mean, every movie is bombastic and all the, threats escalate every time. But this, I mean, to be fair, they've been building towards this since almost the beginning with that first, Tesseract or whatever, and
Yeah.
it being part and involved with the weird gemstones and all that kind of stuff. Infinity Stones. But it seems it's exciting. I mean, they do a good job. They know how to make a good trailer these days. So it got me, ready to see what the conclusion of this, group of Avengers is going to do before they irrevocably, disband and do some new generation of characters, because I'm pretty sure everybody's getting to the end of their contracts.
Yeah.
Well, to bring back up his appearance, as far as being a pink Oompa Loompa sort of thing, or anti-Loompa, Travis, that was a good one.
Lupa.
That was really good. What?
And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it out what's in my head and
Okay.
So you were talking about,
The Avengers trailer,
yeah,
Infinity War.
yeah.
It looked pretty fun to me.
So it does look fun
Yeah,
to you.
no, it does. It does.
Okay, you're the guy that I look to you because if you don't like it, I'm not going to like it.
I loved it more than my unborn child. That doesn't actually exist anywhere
It's
in the world
not a
yet.
thing. It's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
He's not outing people. Don't.
Talking about trashy fake articles that we could trashy fake news
Yep.
that we could send to Tumbleweird.
Yep.
George Mary pregnancy rumors.
Why
Yeah.
we should start submitting a fake tabloid page to them.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
We could very easily. Well, I'm going to take a minute here while Ian is out of the room, which he has this way of sneaking out on us. Well, nobody's looking. Actually, I think everybody was looking, but
We have cameras in here, Greg.
yeah, I know we have cameras now. Oh, and speaking of, hi, it's the Greg Cam. I just wanted to make sure that there you go.
Hashtag Greg Cam.
Can I get a still frame from that to put on the Facebook page?
Hashtag Greg Cam. Let me take my glasses off first so I don't quite look like Grandpa. Hi, everybody. Welcome to AU Radio. There you go. Okay, great.
The nice thing about that is my computer screen is way over here, so you can't tell when you're on.
I can't. I can't.
That is kind of the really nice part about it, because then we don't get super self-conscious.
You're just staring into the camera.
So I
Please
wanted.
make that face again. Please. Wait, show me the face that you would have when you would.
It's the same face you made in that one video.
He told me to look into the camera, and he was just sitting there. Anyways, I'm sorry.
See,
All right.
see how she mocks me but can't take it back.
All right, kids. I'm going to have to hold my hand up. This means, okay, we got to pay attention. All right. It's like fourth grade or something again,
You've
all
got
over
the
again.
sharing stick.
Yeah, I do.
He's got the magic crunch.
It's the sharing
Beat me
microphone
to it.
here. I've got the sharing microphone. Okay. A few weeks back, we were contacted by some folks that said we'd like to come and talk to you about something that has been going on for quite a number of years here in the Tri-Cities. And I promptly said, yeah, it'd be great. Love to have you. And then forgot about it
Because that's what happens.
because that's what happens. And in they walked here a few minutes ago.
And we felt really weird.
It took me a little bit, but it's my mistake. I hashtag Greg screwed up. Okay. Biggie's with us from RadCon and wanted to say, hey, welcome. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm here to talk about RadCon and, just hashtag, what's the word? Stupid brain. Mouth going before mouth moving before brain working.
That may be the longest hashtag ever.
Probably.
Could very well be. I don't know.
That's the word. Hashtag shameless plug.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Hashtag shameless plug. So talk about RadCon. I've been in the Tri-Cities now 25-ish years and been to a couple of RadCons, and I love the event. How's it grown and changed?
Oh, a lot. I've been going for 16, 17, 18 years now. But it's grown a lot. We're up to about roughly 2,500 people a year. We're getting just a lot of great guests. Last year we had someone come from who worked with NASA and was talking to us about I want to say space defense, but not in the way you're thinking, not in the extra cool, extraterrestrial way, but just from interstellar objects, what they would do should they be aiming towards our planet.
Kind of like the Reagan-era Star Wars kind of thing, only the opposite direction.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Where we're going to send Steve Buscemi and Bruce Willis is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Well, other people I'm thinking of, but per the rules I heard earlier, I won't name names.
That's probably a good
You
thing.
can talk about Bruce Willis and Steve Buscemi.
Well, actually, I was
Said
thinking
no
more like
religion.
I was thinking more like Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
I'd be okay with that.
I love that Corey did not say anything about Ben Affleck.
Nope.
Nope.
It's never stopped you before, Corey.
Have some more jelly beans there, Corey,
I'm
so
okay.
you keep your mouth shut for a little bit.
All right.
So
A full mouth never flaps.
Yeah. RadCon, when is RadCon?
RadCon is President's Day weekend every year, so the dates change, but the holiday never does. It's going to be the 16th through the 18th of 2018.
And that's the president's, which is what, February? Something like that?
Yeah, February 16th through 18th.
Katie was talking about technical difficulties a little while ago. So.
Nobody can talk.
It is not cold. What are you talking about?
Freezing.
I'm wearing shorts and I just took my shoes off.
Anything to do with
Have some more
my
jelly
heat,
beans,
Corey.
would you?
That doesn't have anything to do with the temperature, Corey.
Yeah, it does.
So what can people expect when they come to RadCon? I mean, when I first heard about it, I thought, it's a sci-fi convention, and it's
Well, it is, but it's so much more than that. There's 24-hour gaming hall. We've got dealers. Adventures Underground's going to be there. So if
Who?
You guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. It's us.
We really should write some of this shit down.
I mean, you forgot I was even coming. You might need to invest in a personal brain. I mean, I know I do, but at least I remember to show up.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah. No, that was your handler that said that you should show up.
Greg, you just
He
got
told me to
roasted.
show up. I put it in my phone. My phone reminded me.
Greg, you just got roasted.
Inconceivable!
I feel better now.
Do you guys prefer him regular or extra crispy?
Extra crispy.
Hell yeah.
So it is a sci-fi convention, but
It's also a gaming convention. It's an anime convention. I like to call it just a general nerdery convention. If you're a fan of anything, we're the place for you. We celebrate nerdery in all of its forms.
I remember watching like old episodes. Well, at the time they were brand new episodes of Red Dwarf. There was a room that would show like a bunch of BBC shows that hadn't made their way to the States yet.
Yeah. I don't know if we're having that this year right off the top of my head. But we're having just all sorts of great stuff this year.
do we have to watch them off the top of your head? Or can we watch them like on a screen or something?
Well,
That they just-
I'll probably
Okay,
have
so-
my head shaved, and I might be biggie, but my head isn't quite that big. But we're having at this point we're planning on having some VR guys come down, so there'll be a big VR room. We've got just a whole bunch of stuff coming in. We've got some guys coming up from California and from all over the Northwest to put on some fighting demonstration. That's a big attraction every year.
Special guests? You're going to drop a couple names here?
Oh, I'm getting to the name dropping.
Okay, all right.
I'll get to the name dropping here in a second. but this is also the 10th anniversary of Ignition, our fire dancers. So they're going all out this year. So if you
mean they're really getting lit?
Oh yeah, they are going to hashtag 420 blaze it.
Thank you. I'll be here all night.
Tremendous.
Thank you. Hashtag Greg gets lit.
You did it. You broke Katie early, man.
We didn't even get to the end of the podcast. That's great. That's great. My apologies. I'm sorry.
I think Katie got roasted there.
That's our highlight every episode is breaking Katie.
Well, we needed to do it at least twice tonight because we missed it last week.
Oh yeah.
I was stuck in my face.
Yeah, she was busy.
Even after you left.
That's a good one. She even turned red clear down, all the way down the neck, and yeah, it was good. So okay, all right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Name drop on me here.
Name drops. We've got Matt Youngmark, author of the Choose-O-Matic Adventure book series.
Cool.
Choose-O-Matic. What a tremendous word that is.
Yes, isn't it?
I'm a fan of Choose-O-Matic.
Yes, it's the modern, updated choose-your-own-adventure type book. So if you ever liked those as a kid, pick those up. They're really, really good.
Nice. Okay.
Our blah 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 blah.
I've done them too.
Yeah, they're amazing, right? They're such a great musical group.
Really good
Kind
live.
of like the Blue Man Group, but kind of not.
Hey,
I was thinking more along the lines of like Eiffel 65.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a wow.
That's
That's a deep cut, sir. That was a good drop.
Well, wasn't that the crossover between him and them and the Blue Man Group? No, sorry, bad joke.
Blue,
We'll step away from that
Abu
one.
Dee,
Yeah,
Abu
we'll just take a step back. I apologize to every
George,
listener. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
If it's going to be you or me, Greg. So,
I'm leaving. Okay?
I got really scared for a second. I thought he was actually leaving. I'm like, George, no.
No, this one was entirely my fault. So we can move on now.
Our artist guest of honor is Echo Church. One thing, do you guys drink Angry
I drink
Orchard?
a lot, but that's
Yeah.
Okay, she did the art for the labels.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
That's really awesome.
Yes, so we're getting her down, and so so if you like that type of art style, Echo is your girl.
Right on.
nice.
Very cool.
Nice.
We've got some other guests that are coming down, some of which haven't been 100% confirmed yet. So we're keeping them kind of in the dark just to make sure. But those are the two that we do have 100% confirmed.
I can confirm that I'll be there too. So,
Well, yes.
just in case you want to
Greg
drop
Martin.
another name.
And then one last one that we have every year that everyone loves is our special guest of honor. He comes up from California every year. Is Dragon Drone. He works in Hollywood as a special effects artist. Yes, he's worked on Planet of the Apes. He actually developed a fighting style specifically for that movie.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
He's a super nice guy too.
Really?
Yeah,
he's a
Dragon
great
is he's awesome. That's all I can say.
guy. Yeah,
Cool,
he's
cool.
rad.
So give the commercial part again. Where and when, and tickets.
Okay. RadCon is again President's Day weekend every year in February. So this year it'll be the 16th through the 18th at the Pasco Red Lion. Tickets are $45 at the door, and you can pre-order them at radcon.org. And if you do so before the end of the year, they're just $40.
Nice. And I know there's so much more. We could just sit and talk for hours about things going on, but it's time to throw you out. So we threw
I'd like
George
to
out.
see it
So
try.
George, go get him.
If you asked me last week, I might have tried.
Yeah, you might try.
Yes, you're all full of crepe.
I was. Crepe and vinegar,
As the saying goes.
as the saying goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
As Oma used to say.
I broke Corey.
Pivotal moment here on the podcast, guys.
Hashtag full of crepe and vinegar.
Oh,
Yeah,
and also
there we go.
I gotta thank Corey for bringing me my crepe after I had my storm out last week, because I would have been very sad if I left that behind.
Was it still good after the whole week?
Oh yeah, that's great. Well, it would have been, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Kagan, I'm sure it would have been fine.
Yeah. Well, hey, Biggie, we appreciate you coming by and talking about RadCon. When it gets closer, come on back.
I will absolutely do that. Thanks for having me.
All right.
you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Appreciate it so much.
Thanks, man.
I don't know that I can go back from this.
Oh, well, you know, you do what you do. You do what you do. One of you guys was mentioning when we were talking about the Avengers thing was that contract for some of those guys. And I just saw that this is the last film for the original Avengers actors.
Yep. I guess I'd had that in the back of my mind while I was watching it, but it makes sense that they have these seriously grandiose scenes of battle. Like they're trying to top everything that they've done, and the trailer looks like they're making a good effort of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what all these characters do when they can kind of break whatever they've been doing for so long and do something weird and catching everybody off guard. That's what I'm hoping, anyways.
Yeah.
Can we take just a second to admire Chris Evans' beard?
Right.
Okay.
Holy crap.
That makes me so sad because I get they obviously can't do it forever and they do want to work on other stuff and they are having to say no to a lot of really cool projects because they are so committed to this.
Right.
But some of those characters that are reaching the end of their contracts for this, I'm really like, please just do like 3 more. That's all I ask because I genuinely am going to be crushed to not have Chris Evans be Steve Rogers anymore. I'm gonna be floored if Robert Downey Jr. doesn't want to do another Iron Man movie.
Oh, hey, I have to defend John real quick.
Oh.
Yeah. Superman did wear cape. Well, a toga, really.
I'm sorry?
Come on, don't you guys remember the Alex
yeah.
Ross painted like super future Captain America, all bald and like grizzled and.
Oh, okay.
And he had an American flag draped across himself like a toga.
Oh my gosh.
I need to see that. I've never seen that.
Really?
So-
Oh, dude. Alex Ross is
For those of
talented.
you that
Yeah.
You hitting the internet.
To the tape.
for those of you that don't know what Ian is talking about,
Look it up.
John
It
decided
exists.
John decided to Mr.
Mr. of the podcast.
Mr.
Yeah.
from the podcast decided to troll me one day and is like, tell me that Captain America wore a cape. And I said, you're on drugs. And he's decided to just ramble on and just defend it with everything he had. So I decided to start a little bit of a Facebook post that said, please help me. My husband's trying to tell me that Captain America wore a cape. And then everybody else decided to troll me.
Yeah.
That's a cape.
Yeah.
And he's next to Superman. They're
So-
buddies.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I hate everything about that.
So what happens to the world if
You're welcome,
I mean,
John.
what happens to the Avengers world if these characters or these actors decide that they don't want to come back? What do we do? What do we do?
The Zoink Show.
Move on.
Move
Yeah.
on.
So
I don't know.
So it is Scarlett Johansson, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth,
Mr. Junior.
Mr. Jr., and Mark Ruffalo. That is the ones that their contracts are ending, right?
I believe so. I mean,
Okay.
there might be slight differences between
Right.
them, but yeah, mostly.
Downey's been doing this for a minute.
I know, yeah. And that one,
Quite a
I
while,
wouldn't be
yeah.
surprised. I would be sad. I'm going to throw a temper tantrum if Chris Evans leaves.
The new Spidey suit looks dope, though.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Oh my
Nope.
God.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh, you don't
Uh-oh.
like it?
Mm-mm. No.
I
Well,
haven't
you are
seen
a big
it.
fan of the one from Homecoming, though.
Oh, the Homecoming one I liked because it was plausible. This looks like he's wearing. Well, it's the film adaptation of the Iron Spider outfit. Is really
Does he
what
have
it
the
Yeah,
armpit
yeah.
webs?
I don't know.
Then
maybe
I don't
maybe
care.
they're armpit thrusters.
Does it?
Then I don't care.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It looks different than the one that they teased at the end of Homecoming. Or
Yes.
am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I did read too, though, that Marvel has like 18 more secret-ish kind of projects in the wings, and I don't know, 18 more projects.
Oh, they're not going to stop anytime soon. They're going to keep this train chugging until the wheels fall off.
Well, Marvel goes deep. I mean, if you get into the back catalog of Marvel, there's a lot.
Yeah.
They might
Yeah.
need to jump away from Avengers, but there's no reason they can't bring out. Although, if they keep throwing them on TV, well, I haven't seen any of them personally, honestly. But
Yeah.
everything I've read, every public opinion about, like
I
Inhumans. Now, the one
just recently watched the Runaways, and I thought thought it was pretty good.
I like Runaways too a lot.
Can we give some love to Big Hero 6? Because
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
that movie was great.
Moving figures around at my house today, I found my Baymax figure and
Nice.
put
I
him
was
out prominently.
fully expecting to not like that movie, and I loved it.
That's one of my favorites. I love that.
Love
flick.
that movie.
I'm ashamed to say that I really dug the fact that Fall Out Boy did like the closing song.
I very unironically, unabashedly adore that band.
Yeah, me too.
Until they did the
I love.
Ghostbusters song.
No, even then,
I will fight you to the death.
they can do no wrong.
Now I'll fight you right back, Corey. I'm gonna stick in Katie's game.
It's
on
a
this one.
three-way
Ian
to
and I
the
are
death
team-
match.
All right, get us the
right
bat
here
lifts.
on
Let's
AU
go.
Radio.
Ian and I are Team Fallout Boy.
So I want to bring. I brought that up because the big topic this week. I want to talk about thematic similarities between franchises. And if you're talking about 18 more movies, how many have we had so far? I mean, if we were to count Marvel and DC,
Do you want to start with like Iron Man? Are we trying to do this here?
No, we can go deep.
Yeah.
yeah,
This is going to be
you
a
know,
4-hour podcast.
Well, hey, now DC started sooner with the films. I mean, unless you're counting Japanese Spider-Man, which
I mean,
I always count
I
Japanese
would.
Spider-Man.
I count
dude.
Japanese Spider-Man.
Do we count collective shared universe, or do we count just individual movies?
all of them.
Okay, well,
Every-
you got to
Dear
go way
God,
farther back
man.
then.
Now, hold on.
Yeah.
Before we go down this rabbit hole, this reminded me. George, give us the Justice League.
Oh yeah,
Oh, you tried to sneak away with it.
I did. That was my whole reason. Beard shaming is
You
totally not. No, I'm just kidding.
Sneaky
Bear
little
Trap.
thing.
Ah,
Oh my
Justice
God.
League Bear Trap.
Oh my God. I'm
Okay.
telling you right
All
now.
right, all right.
I've said before you start, I've told everybody, I'm to the point where, within reason, I don't care how bad this movie is. I'm going to love it. I don't care.
sure. It was a fun movie. I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I'm glad I went to go see it in theaters. I am glad that they're starting to expand their character base. It wasn't necessarily like done as masterfully as some of like, you know, the team building that they did over the course of their own individual movies in the Marvel stuff. Not to compare, but similarities in, you know, different
Thematic.
franchises and properties, you know.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
So they did I mean, it's not quite like a montage, but it's kind of a montage bringing the team together.
Yeah.
Well, to defend DC,
Yeah.
as far as their film production, I would think DC characters would be much more difficult to translate to screen in a way that isn't bombastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's totally
definitely.
fair.
Why do
Totally
you say, why
fair.
do you say that?
Well, it's the old DC Marvel.
You kind of hit the nail on the head because Aquaman is bombastic is the word that describes how they portray Aquaman in this movie, like the entire time. Like,
Well, yeah, absolutely. The relation, the relatability of Marvel is in that it, for the most part, not all of Marvel, because again, Marvel goes deep, you know. But a lot of the more popular characters and the ones that they've started with, at least franchise-wise, have been average Joes. You know, the GI Joes for
Yeah.
all that. You know, wow.
Go Joe.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, you can relate to that hero's journey is a lot easier to watch than taking a hero who is, and this is probably why DC has hung on Batman as long as they have, because Batman's the most relatable character because he's the average Joe,
Right.
you know.
The
Whereas,
average
I'm
millionaire.
rich. Yeah.
well, yeah, no, I get that, but you understand what I'm saying,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
It's like, because Superman, he's an alien. And that's what I liked about Man of Steel, was the fact that Man of Steel totally portrayed that.
My favorite DC movie so far.
Really? Wow.
I adore that movie.
I'm going to stick with Dark Knight.
but yeah, no. So that totally makes sense. And in the parameters of this movie, you're absolutely right. It would have with the effort that they put into actually introducing these characters, they would have. I mean. I'll put it to this. I'm glad that they decided not to go down that rabbit hole trying to follow Marvel down it. Like every single character gets their own movie before they, you know, make the whole big Avengers movie in the end. It's definitely going to get better from here, I would hope. This was definitely a staging movie and it had a lot of fun things to it, but I wouldn't go so far as to say it was like a fantastic movie. it was a fun movie to go see in theaters, and I do encourage people to do that because that's probably the most fun you'll have. Watching it at home will be fine. You know, big TVs are what they are these days, but it's a bombastic movie. That is maybe one of the best ways to describe it.
The thing about working in a comic book store is whenever you get any sort of like superhero anything, whenever you get any sort of superhero anything as far as like cinema is concerned or TV, you hear about it whether you're sitting there covering your ears saying la 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 over again, you're gonna hear it. And I heard a lot of complaints, but something that I didn't say because I work in customer service. But my thought is,
But she's going to say it now.
I'm gonna say it now. My thought is this is a movie that cost an ungodly amount of money to make and is expected to make tenfold that. They're not, I mean, whatever, semantics. You can't, it's not going to be...
a lot of money, Katie. And also, real quick, before I forget this is important. Do you feel like DC hasn't earned it? They don't have the street cred because they've relied on one dude for so long? Continue.
No.
No.
First of all. Second, it's not, they're not, it's a gigantic winter blockbuster. It's one of the biggest movies that is going to come out this year. They're trying to appeal to the masses in the nicest way possible. They're not trying to appeal to us.
So they're gamblers.
No. They're trying to, basically. But it's not going to be like, they're working with Warner Brothers. It's not like one of my favorite, I'm going to use one of my favorite movies, Red State. It's not one guy that's doing whatever he wants with this movie and has full creative control.
I was so ready to groan and when you said The Room. but you didn't give me that. You're absolutely right there. But so a couple of things. First, George, is there any chance they're going to bring Hal in?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was thinking about bringing this up if I got the chance. One of the things that made me feel better about this being the movie that kind of platforms and shoots them off in the direction of having a big team and having them actually work together and stuff is there is a montage in space. Montage. I love using montages. Anyways, there's a space fight that happens during the movie, and it's lousy with Green Lanterns.
Yes.
There's even to the point where a ring comes off of a sadly departed lantern, and this bad guy is kind of looking at it as it flies past him, and it's definitely
towards Earth.
No, I don't know. I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Probably. 214.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's going to hell.
Do they have like the crystal lantern, the crystal tentacle lantern with just like the ring on his sleeve?
Oh, there were a couple of weird ones. I don't remember if he was in there or not.
Dude,
but
I have to go see this just for that.
It's a short scene, but it's worth knowing that it's in there.
I might YouTube it.
I have a question.
Hopefully it's an ad-supported video.
So somebody who's not a huge fan of Green Lantern. Okay, sorry. I've heard amazing
Just
things. I
breathe.
really just haven't given it the chance that it deserves.
Oh, you're certainly not in the minority. No.
What happens when the aliens don't have fingers, but they're a Green Lantern?
I just told you. They put on a nice little sleeve.
Yeah, you're like
but the whole ring is the sleeve? I'm confused.
The squirrel puts it on his tail. The cat that's a Red Lantern puts it on his tail.
There's a planet that's a Green Lantern.
And it's just got a ring around it?
There's
see, that's fine.
There's a microscopic virus Yellow Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where does
Despopolis,
Yep.
something like that?
Where does
Despacito?
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to bring up, is there a chicken lantern?
Dude,
where
I
does
have no
he
doubt.
put the ring?
I hope he's the Red Lantern, because if he's a yellow chicken, it'd just be thematically appropriate.
Because that's the dirtiest thing I think I've ever heard.
Cock ring?
Oh.
You can't say that.
Good night, everybody.
Send your emails to
Hey, everybody, it's AU Radio.
podcast at adbunderground.com. Thank you, Corey.
There is no chance that's not getting beeped.
Oh
I don't know. It's never mind.
my god.
We got to get a beep out of you, Travis.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Yeah, I'm the only one in the room that hasn't, right?
I hate you so much. That was the one thing I had, Travis.
I took it from you.
I'm just gonna show up in a black cape and like a turtleneck, just seething for an hour.
So quick other news that may not matter to anybody else. George, They announced the casting for Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
What? When's that? When is that coming out?
It's gonna be next year,
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
fun.
and it's got Juno
Okay.
is going to be the white violin.
You told me about that. I remember now.
Yes, but they announced some other characters today, and
Nice.
I wasn't really familiar with a bunch of the actors, but it looks really, really, really
How-
dope.
Not the Umbrella Academy from Resident Evil.
Oh.
Or the Umbrella Corporation, I guess. In
Good
that
one.
case. This isn't the training to
Thanks for
become
talking him down.
Yeah.
You just broke Ian's
Just-
heart.
Oh.
Just a Band-Aid.
No,
Um,
actually, the number of Resident Evil movies that they made with Mila Jovovich, actually, Vic, whatever. That's
John's
what,
gonna
that's
get
what
mad
broke
at
my-
you.
Oh, I hope so. I'll come at him.
He's so in love with her. How much creative control does Gerard Way have at all, or is he like even?
I would
doing
hope he
anything
at
with
least
it?
has a producer or
No idea.
consultant sort of role.
Yeah.
I didn't get that far into it.
Oh God, I hope so.
So back to our big topic.
Yeah.
As we've kind of digressed around it, in a way, the differences and the similarities, the similarities, I suppose, between
Yeah.
all these different things. Again, how many films have we had so far? How many more can we possibly have? At least 18 more for Marvel. Go deep on that.
Well,
I mean,
okay.
All the.
Oh, I was going to go deep.
Go ahead.
Submarine joke.
Name you guys.
Sorry.
The more I think about it, the funnier it gets.
The thing I like about Umbrella Academy, as far as to bring this up, is it's a very familial tale, and the white violin essentially represents the cosmic threat or the world-ending threat.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's personified. Which, hey, let's get biblical. Oh,
we're not supposed to talk about religion, remember?
I wasn't. I was talking about a book. This is a bookstore.
Okay.
Ooh.
Touche.
You're channeling Bill Hicks right now.
Ian's little
the
O's.
oohs are perfect.
Making me giggle so much.
No, but that's 100% accurate, dude.
Now we broke Ian.
Oh fuck! Oh, that one was mine. I'm going in, sorry.
That's okay. Oh. And that's number 4 for Katie tonight.
I got the giggles today.
The
Yes, you
rails
were-
are over there.
you were
Pull
saying.
off them again, man. But
I'm not a race car.
so thematically, the problem is we continuously have bad guy comes from outer space to destroy Earth for like that's continuously the
Yeah.
like
There's it goes from that one and then to the bad guy that's basically exactly the same character as the good guy, but bad.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like they do it. Almost every character gets at least one.
So is that? Are we seeing a more Taoist philosophy to Star Wars now with the new trilogy, as opposed to being a more yin yang? I don't know. What was it? Is that the same thing?
yeah, similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just because you were talking a couple podcasts ago about Luke's turn to the gray.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the antithesis of Lord of the Rings. Essentially, we're watching Gandalf the White turn into Gandalf the Gray.
right.
Backwards tale.
With Luke's travels are a little weird because he goes from
Mind
being,
blown.
like the young guy to in, Return of the Jedi, he's all of a sudden got his like black robes and he's all like Jedi mastery and all this kind of stuff. And now he's moving from that back into the gray. I wonder if there's some intentional meaning there, going from the extremes to that gray after kind of experiencing both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. Well, the reason I was thinking of it was earlier today I was looking at I think it was a figure arts Luke figure, but he had an accessory with him that, if you're a Star Wars nerd, and I am, I'm trying to figure it out, but I think I know what it is. It looks like a leather, I'm going to say thong, giggle if you want. Good, our audience is...
It's
That
close.
was-
It's close.
That one, get her.
You tried so hard.
I'm emotionally 12. I'm sorry.
So he has this, it's a key fob, right? Or it's a little leather wrist, it's a cell phone strap or whatever. Something to retain a device to your wrist. And at the end of it, it looks like there's basically the butt end of a lightsaber and just a crystal sticking out. It's like a red crystal. I'm wondering if he's constructed, because part of a Jedi training is you build your own lightsaber, right?
Right.
So I'm wondering if, is this like his new, like, has he got like a shotgun or a
Interesting.
lightsaber shield?
Lightsaber shotgun.
Or a lightsaber shield.
I am picturing one of the things you connect to a Wii.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's
like those
precisely
weird
correct.
PlayStation knockoffs.
So Luke is arthritic and might drop his lightsaber. Is this what we're going with? Or he's gonna wield it around and it's gonna fly out of his hand.
The Crystal Fox thing takes it and just runs away.
Those things.
So there's a little tiny weird tangent that I don't feel. I mean, if you read a particular comic at a particular time a couple of years ago when The Force Awakens came out, you might know about it. But I'm guessing it's going to eventually come in because it was a weird story that Greg Rucka told in comics. It was called Star Wars Shattered Empire.
Yes.
And it was just a 4-issue miniseries, and it took. I think who the character that ends up you realize in the end of it is Poe Dameron's mom.
Oh.
And she and Luke Skywalker, Luke recruits her, go on this basically secret covert mission, and it ends up being a mission to go save a couple of Jedi trees.
Oh.
Like really ancient, like Jedi seed,
Yeah.
seeds
Like
for an
ants?
ancient.
No, I know exactly.
No.
Well,
Like-
they don't move much.
They don't move
When you're
much.
that enlightened, you don't move much.
Yeah. But it's these trees would generally reside at the center of Jedi temples and whatnot, and
Go
be the
ask a
center of
statue
power.
sometime, Katie.
But
See what it says.
But this is the last that anybody has seen of Luke, and it implies that in that comic, he basically, shortly after that story happens, he kind of disappears and goes off and does his own thing. I'm wondering if we're going to see some Jedi trees in the center of a Jedi temple that he maybe then changes his mind and, decides to... I don't know what. My mind is racing with different options.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's exciting.
But I don't want to see the trailer.
How far away are we?
I'm not going to watch it.
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Is that
2
it?
weeks.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah,
This-
it's soon.
This
Yep.
topic makes me think of this comic that came. It's not a comic. It's like this little cartoon strip from this artist that I follow, of Captain America meeting Superman and then Batman meeting Iron Man. Captain America and Superman are like shaking hands and being like, Clark, Steve, and like just being very gentlemanly, and then Captain America and Batman just like having just armfuls of money, just chucking it at each other as hard as they possibly
You
can.
mean Iron Man and Batman?
Iron Man,
You said Captain America.
Yeah, you did.
Same guy.
Captain America and Superman,
Wow.
and then
And then you said Captain America.
oh
and
whatever.
No, your body language for a visual medium. I thought you were going to say they were hugging it out, like having a real bromantic moment.
Yeah.
You're gonna
I
sit
mean,
there
you
and
were
tell
hugging
me that
yourself and
Or maybe they had money between them while they were hugging each other.
That could be too.
Mm.
Yeah.
that's the
yeah.
best way to hug somebody.
Yeah.
Mm.
A little hot,
is it?
little hot fuzz action going on there.
Indecent proposal.
So Mark Hamill says is that number 6?
Not quite.
No.
We're not. We're on the verge.
Can we get a
No,
little
no.
clicker or a light or something on the wall that would just every time she busts up when
Yeah.
it gets above a certain frequency, it just
This workplace has gone 0 days since Katie broke down.
Yeah, I like that. Mark Hamill is now equating the new Star Wars with The Godfather
Oh,
That's lofty.
What?
okay.
because of
All
the
right.
length of the film.
Oh,
Oh.
Touche.
It is running 152 minutes
I'm
for the new Star Wars film.
I'm good with that.
No, hey, now hold on. Peter Jackson. Let's talk about The Hobbit again, shall we?
Talk about what?
I was watching The Hobbit before I came here.
The Hobbitses.
Hobbits is.
Hobbitses.
The Desolation of Smog. Extended cut.
But he also says it's good. And that's why he equates it with The Godfather, is because it doesn't feel like it's 152 minutes.
You feel every minute of The Godfather.
Especially when Marlon Brando's on the screen. Get it out of your mouth, man.
Do you not like that movie?
I've only seen it once, and to be honest, it isn't really. Who cares?
Yeah, I love
Marlon-
you so much. So much.
Marlon Brando is the perfect example of a beautiful man that did not age well.
I liked the poster better when it was Scarface.
There you go.
the red rose and the.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
brought
You're not wrong.
You brought up The Hobbit, or you brought up the Lord of the Rings, and we were watching Black Cauldron
Yes.
the other night,
Gurgi.
and Gurgi and Gollum are essentially the exact same voice, same character, same basically everything, and
Only one doesn't terrify to your bones as a small child. I mean, Black Cauldron does.
Gurgi's not
movie
that
scared
scary,
me.
man.
Gurgi is very much inherently good, whereas he's creepy and weird and annoying, but he means well. And then
Well, Smeagol meant well.
Eh.
Golem's horrible, but Smeagol tried. Other than when he killed that dude.
other
I'll
than
stop.
yeah,
I'm done.
or
I
beat that
realize
goblin to death.
It's not going to work.
back away from the microphone.
They need to have Smeagol treats, or
No, they don't.
Just a package of fish.
Ew.
Mashed against a rock.
I wish I knew that song he sings while he's doing it.
But he's beating the fish against the rock.
Oh my god. No.
I brought up toys earlier. I'm just gonna bring it up again because I'm looking at my list here. Where the hell's the 4-foot batarang?
That's a
It
good
hasn't
question.
come yet. We need to talk to Frank about that.
Miller?
Dirty
No,
Frank.
not Frank Miller. I can call Frank Miller, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, try that.
He
Okay,
doesn't
he'll
have a
probably
lot
know.
going on.
Here's Twitter him.
Here's
I'll be
my
like,
phone.
Hey man,
Let's
I
just-
ordered this from Diamond and they haven't sent it to me. What can you do?
I'll hook you
He'll
up.
put me in touch with Robert Rodriguez, who has guns. So,
It'll be here.
Or you'll just hear Diamond from the other side of
yep. As they've become your con.
Yeah.
No, they totally have. This
Yeah.
week, this shipment comes in and he did that. He was like,
Oh
Diamond.
God, how many customers have been like, "Hey, you said this was gonna be in. When is it gonna be in?" And just like the disdain that Travis gets on his face, not for being asked a question by a customer, but just of seething anger that he has for Diamond.
Well,
we still love you though.
well,
Don't-
no,
Don't cut us off completely.
we almost had to
Listening, Travis. It doesn't matter.
we almost had to deal with some truly angry people.
Oh my God.
Spy Seal came in a day late.
Oh no, it did. But this just in, last issue of Spy Seal, for now, out this week.
Yep.
Did they mark it off $1?
No, that would be
It
us.
wasn't a day late and $1 short.
It was not.
That was
Thank you
Good
for
job,
that.
Ian. Good
Yeah,
job.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yep, got him on that one.
That was a Dick Sargent joke.
Sir,
Not Dick
yes,
York.
sir.
It was Dick Sargent.
Is he
Sargent York.
Is he gonna get beeped for that one?
No,
No,
that's
he
the
said-
dude's name.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Dick York. It's no biggie. No biggie.
Wasn't like I said cock ring again.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry,
So-
Greg.
it's
That's
okay. It's all right. It's all
you're
right.
gonna have so much work to do today.
So let me throw one at you. I saw this one
Don't
and
throw
I,
a cock ring at me.
the trifecta. As a hat trick.
I just heard that, and I'm gonna eat them.
Cock rings?
Stop it! Oh my God, nobody's gonna be able to hear any of this podcast. It's like a Jerry Springer show. Good Lord.
you know, the Beatles always said that that jelly beans hurt. So throw them at you. Brand new film. I hadn't heard about this. I'm kind of intrigued, but horrified at the same time. It's going to be Daphne and Velma. And it's the origin story of the Scooby-Doo 2.
Why Velma wears glasses?
I guess. I don't know.
Scooby-Doo 2, like,
Wait,
Sarah
Like-
Jeffrey is going to be Daphne, and
Okay.
Sarah Gilman, Sarah's, I guess, is Velma.
are they suggesting that they're the two that put the mystery crew together?
Yes,
Mysteries?
that's. I think
Mystery
that's.
Inc.
Yeah,
yeah.
there you go.
yeah.
I
Hey, you
think
saved me on that one
that's.
second time.
They
Right on.
they are in school. It goes back, and they're in school, and then there's some student that disappears or something, and it's them that has to they put the clues together, and that's where the whole beginning of the thing is.
So it's literally Scooby becomes Buffy.
It's a live action.
I am
yeah.
so into this idea.
I mean,
Can we nuke Scrappy Doo now, please?
He doesn't exist.
Thank you. I'm sick
Scrappy's
of
awful.
puppy.
Just pretend he's the like Mr. Mixkapulk of the Scooby universe. He's just
Can you say
Is
that
that how
again?
you pronounce that?
yeah, Mixkapulk.
I always thought it was Mitzaplik.
I'm not gonna say it backwards.
Different pronunciations for different languages, my
You're
friend.
gonna summon something weird in the
You,
podcast room.
you say potato, I say vodka. I get it.
Hey, did we just move the Greg cam?
Yeah.
And it's
It
just on.
fell.
It's just on nothing.
Now the Katie cam? Is that?
No, it's just it's
Oh.
looking at that light. I
Hey.
think.
Katie, we have to talk.
Yes.
31.
Oh my god! 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 Oh my god!
Yeah, what's that all
Oh
about?
my god!
Have you not seen 31?
No.
It's so good! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
It took me 2 nights to get through it. I got halfway.
Oh
but
my god! So whenever the year that it came out in 2016, right?
15, I think.
Somewhere around there.
It was a while ago.
I just remember that whole year being like, God, there are no good horror movies coming out right now. I mean, you got to like sift through all the crap to find some really good indie gems, but there's no like real major good horror out. And then 31 came out, and I was still so trepidatious because I had my heart broken so viciously by Rob Zombie with Lords of Salem. And then he
Which
just
I like.
drops this beautiful 10-pound diamond in my lap. Oh my God, I adore this movie.
Yeah, it was something special.
It was so good.
It was really the whole thing.
It's my favorite of his movies.
From minute 1 to
Yeah.
just every bit of it.
What was the guy's name at the end? The guy they called that was well, he was at the very beginning too. The guy that the opening scene where the dude walks in.
Doomhead.
Okay, yeah, that
Doomhead,
guy.
yeah.
He was like channeling Ledger's Joker on steroids.
But
Yeah.
so hardcore. And after we watched it, I was like, that is exactly what I needed and didn't get from
Lords of Salem.
also Lords of Salem, but also Suicide Squad, weirdly enough.
Well, no, I got that.
Everybody was like, oh, it's going to be a Joker movie because it's Jared Leto and he has this weird grill and tattoos for no reason.
He was a juggalo. It's fine.
I don't.
Well, you're talking about the milquetoast. Back to the thematic comparisons. You're talking about the milquetoast version of the same kind of story, right?
Yeah.
Because Rob Zombie kind of acknowledges the fact that the villains think that the good guys, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I love about the horror genre in general is depending on how willing you are to accept what you're seeing on the screen, and to flip perspectives.
Yeah.
It's same thing as Suicide Squad, but they didn't have the I don't know, fortitude that Rob Zombie did, or the panache, or the sheer gutsiness, ballsiness.
Was
Yeah.
there a good script? Because that would be an
Oh.
advantage to them.
I would like.
Dialogue.
I would like. I don't really care about the script
Granted.
so much,
Okay.
but as far as whoever the director was, the set director, and also the writer, if they wrote down, I mean, if this was not just direction, if the writer also, and he wrote it as well, so credit goes to Zombie, but the script that the plan that he had, or whatever it was, the script he was using, whatever he was going off of, or his own brain.
Yeah.
If that's how he directs, I don't know, or that's how he writes. If it's just a standard movie script that's single lines, then no, it's probably not art. To some people, it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
One thing
yeah, please.
that I adore, it's something that I find is kind of missing a little bit, especially in like big blockbuster. I mean, I wouldn't exactly call it a big blockbuster, but not like super underground indie horror is. There's not really something that American horror just has. I don't possibly something that American horror just has the biggest boner for is just gore. And that's it, basically, is just how horribly can we disfigure this person? How many buckets of blood can we have? Which is great. I adore that. I'm not knocking that. But it's a big reason why Dracula, all the Dracula's movies did so well. It's why I love the Hannibal movies so much. There's an ornateness. There's the cinematography. There's the lighting. There's like...
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to say an art because a lot of horror is art depending
So
on what
where do you
want.
stand on Crimson Peak?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, me neither.
What? I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, haven't gone down that one yet.
Oh, okay. So watch Crimson Peak.
I mean, it got so much. This is one of those things. It had so much in the way of pre-build-up that I immediately didn't want to see it.
I understand. It is so just as a Del Toro fanboy, but it's got what Katie's talking about in droves. It's got feel. It's got set. It's got atmosphere.
Yeah.
That is oppressive and totally gives you a rad sense.
I just heard that Guillermo was offered. We were talking here a couple of weeks ago about the Universal, the Dark Universe, and trying to reboot the whole Universal thing again. And Del Toro was actually offered that and turned it down. That's what I understand.
Bummer.
They wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean,
that makes me sad, but I get it because he would want to Del Toroify it.
It would be so amazing.
Right. I
oh
don't
my
think
God.
Universal
Let's
would let
be
him
real.
do it the way
he did it anyway.
Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, I can't wait to see that, because after watching The Mummy, I mean, I'm so disappointed, so utterly
Shape of Water
disappointed.
looks gorgeous.
It looks amazing,
Yeah.
but with
I don't think Universal owns Merman. Could be wrong.
with
Yeah,
they
don't know.
the monkey mermaid thing that
Fiji mermaid.
The Fiji mermaid. Yes, they own that.
Fish boy.
Yeah. I don't think with
Gollum.
with the big Universal monsters, I don't think that they would let Del Toro do what he would want to do with it.
And that
I
may
think
be
they would
that may
protect
be
it
a
too
lot of
much.
it. It's just
Yeah.
the fact that it's Universals and they wanted to do it just a certain way.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to bring up a couple things here before we run out of time today. I don't know where everybody listens to. I'd love to hear feedback from all of our listeners as to where you pick up the podcast. You're picking up on Apple Podcasts, what used to be called iTunes. We're now on Spotify and iHeartRadio, as well as Google Play. And I think there's probably about a half dozen other little ones out there. And now we're putting it up on YouTube. So I'd love to hear comments back from everybody about where you're hearing it. What's your favorite? I know, Corey, you and Ian mentioned that you're Spotify guys.
Yep.
Oh, I support
all of them.
Yeah. No, see, that's the thing. I bounce between apps depending on which one, because they update the app so frequently these days. Not to get too techie, but as far as music listening goes, I bounce between all of them. I really do.
Yeah.
There were some months where Google, I want mainly I do the Google Play for YouTube Red because that comes with the subscription. And there are months where I'm watching a lot of YouTube. And then there are other months where Spotify, I love Spotify's, whatever their algorithm is for, at least in my opinion, the algorithm they use to deliver music, as far, it hits my taste more accurately than Google does. And Google has like a radio function, but at the same time, there's, the catered level of service isn't quite as up there with Spotify, and I haven't really gone much broader than that.
There was talk. Travis and I were discussing maybe putting us up on Twitch.
Yeah,
doing it
right
live.
Yeah,
Stitcher. I think maybe we're on Stitcher, and there's so many of these things out there. So
I
that was terrifying. That was totally.
Travis gets this look in his eyes.
Do it live. You just panic. You're like, I can't. There's too much pressure.
Too much pressure.
Can't cut between cameras.
I was thinking of what's his face, the dude that got canned from
Matt Lauer.
No. It was the one way back.
It's the other one,
Was it O'Reilly?
Oh,
Yeah.
Bill.
He's got that famous. I'll do it live.
yes.
I just hear this soft little giggle next to me, and I'm like, "Oh my God, we're all gonna die."
Did you guys watch the Rampage trailer?
Yes,
No.
I didn't.
What?
Okay.
Mr. from the podcast.
Do you remember
played
the
it on
arcade
loop
game
in my-
Rampage?
Yeah, how could you not remember the arcade game Rampage?
They made a movie.
Uh-oh.
Are you kidding?
Starring Dwayne the Rock, motherfucking Johnson.
We got like 5 minutes to show.
Yeah. The rest of it's just all beeps.
Sorry.
Dude,
God.
the trailer contains the line, "Well, great. Now all we're missing is a 40-foot crocodile." And there it is. You gotta watch it. It's special.
All right. So, hey, if you like what you hear, the parts that aren't being beeped,
Hi.
consider...
Who's playing Lizzie?
Oh, I
Do
don't
we know?
remember. I'll look.
The reptile?
Oh, he's got to look it up. He's going to look it up.
Who's playing the reptile?
Yeah. Well,
It's-
who's The Rock playing?
The-
I want to hear more about Ram. I'm sorry. I'm excited about the Rampage movie.
the Rock is playing the guy who is like the
man on the street.
the trainer of the gorilla
Right.
before he becomes huge.
I got you.
Which
Well,
George, I think, was
Isn't
his name.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan's
Sure.
going to be in it.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
Huh.
What? Really? I know Joe Manganiello's in it too.
They don't seem to have a lot of the cast like names.
And
Oh,
Just because
interesting.
nobody is proud of this.
We're
It's
in
going
it.
to be amazing. But.
and what they do have, it's not a superstar-studded cast.
Well, if you really, really want to, if you're excited for this movie and you want to make your own, just go watch. Calling All Monsters. Is that the one? Or no? Yeah, Monster Island. Or the guy. Help me.
No, that's right. Calling All
Is
Monsters.
it? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's like Invasion Tokyo. There's all of these. But dude, play that, and then just talk over it with a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
sorry.
That works.
Ian's O's throughout the entire podcast. It's just getting me. Ooh.
You got a tiny Sulu over here.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh, my.
Oh my.
So let me throw out a couple birthdays this week before we wrap it up. Ozzy is 69. Sharon! There you go. Thank you very much, Ozzy.
Not anymore.
Brendan Fraser. Whatever happened to Brendan Fraser?
There's like a documentary about that dude
George of the
falling off the
Jungle.
face of the earth.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to
Right on.
Jeff Bridges is 67. I love Jeff
Dude.
Bridges.
Love him.
Dominic Moynihan is 40. Simon Helberg. Everybody know who that is?
Nope.
Enlighten me.
GTS.
Howard
Wait,
Wolowitz
so-
on Big
yeah,
Bang.
I was
Oh.
it was popping in. my head.
36. And
Gilbert Godfrey's on the Big Bang.
yeah, there you go. And Dame Judi Dench is 82. Still the best M that there ever was, I think.
Well, I'm going to throw two out there because also this week would have been Hendrix and Bruce Lee on Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
on.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, and again, if you like what you hear on the podcast, besides all the beeping, maybe you like the beeping too. I'd love to hear about that.
If you want to hear it without the beeping.
Hey!
I think we can probably arrange that at some point. But consider, sharing a little bit with us. Patreon.com/ADV Underground.
Single portion.
What was that?
That's
I was,
right.
I was pointing to the banner for those that could see it.
Was there,
It's
where-
called cinematography, Corey. Learn it.
Dude, I have yet to star in one green screen movie,
Good job, George.
so I have no idea how
We
to
can
work.
fix that.
Like with the fake dinosaur, I can't do it.
We
Just-
can fix that.
We're working on it.
Somebody's
We're
gonna
working
put
on
a
it.
tennis ball up and be like, talk to that guy and pretend you're scared.
Thank you for that over there, Travis. That's what's he pointing at? Nobody knows.
The
Nobody
Penguin
knows.
Queen.
Yeah.
I just do stuff over here.
Bram Stoker's Madagascar.
I
thought you were channeling
I want that
Travolta.
movie in
Me
the
too.
world.
Oh,
Oh, I
yeah.
still need to get you a copy of Wizards.
Can
Yes,
you
you
imagine
do.
Francis Ford Coppola's Madagascar?
I mean, that's one of the only ways it could be more of a masterpiece than it already is.
Oh,
Shrek is love.
and we got her one more time.
Somebody write it and let us know how many times it was.
Yeah.
Good cast,
Dude,
everybody. Good
keep
work.
counting.
Please send that in.
It's Katie's cracked.
Nope, I don't.
Never
I don't-
mind.
I don't
Never
want
mind.
that.
Never mind.
That was a weird one.
Hey,
I don't-
Katie, thanks for being here this week.
You are so welcome, Greg.
Welcome to the forgotten episode, everybody.
You are
Oh my
so
God, I know, right?
It's
You are
gone.
so
It's
beyond
gone.
welcome. Thank
Stick
you,
with
Greg.
us, guys. We'll
This
be
has
back
been
next
really
week.
fun. If you hate us, we'll understand. We love you.
Travis, thanks for pointing the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody, go there.
And everybody points. That's right.
Touchdown.
Ian, thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
George, it's good to see you. You didn't get up and leave yet?
Not yet.
All right.
It'll happen in a minute.
All
What are you
right,
going to trim
that'd
that
be
beard,
good.
George? Get a haircut, young man.
No.
You stop it. Beep that.
You look like a bum.
And he's out.
Yeah, and it's got nothing to say. It's got absolutely nothing.
He doesn't have anything nice to say.
Yeah,
So
I
he's
know,
not
You're,
that's
saying
right.
you're trying to
anything.
keep me on the podcast, Greg?
No.
Is that what's happening?
It's called psychology.
Or psychosis.
Or that.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
One or the other.
And Corey, thank you, sir.
Depends on if you're a Jew.
Pick up a copy of Spy Seal.
I'll think about doing that.
It's Greg. Thank you. This
Thank
was
you.
bananas. So
And my apologies for any technical difficulties. And
Yeah, that too.
That's gonna be on my headstone.
yeah, absolutely.
you're gonna be like John Gotti, the
Yeah.
technical Dawn.
Yes.
Thank
That
you
was
for
stretching. Thanks for that laugh, Ian. I didn't deserve that.
almost got it. Almost got it. And with that, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week. It is AU Radio.
You've been listening to AU Radio. Music is provided by bensound.com. Views expressed do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Adventures Underground. AU Radio is a production of Adventures Underground and Gee Whiz Multimedia Productions. Copyright 2017. All rights reserved.